what are your suggestions for shedding the busy work?
So let me share with all the listeners. I work with this young gal who, if you recall back in the day, the National Association of Realtors, or Realtor Magazine, published a publication where they said, here are the top 100 agents in North America. And they ranked them based on their performance and production and et cetera. Number 100 on that list is a dear friend of mine and a longtime client named Sandy Andrew. Sandy has since retired from real estate. So for all of you listening out there, she retired from real estate. Now, most people, when they retire, it's a heart attack in a sales meeting. They fall over and everybody says, quick, get their leads. So
get their leads.
She retired with enough investment opportunities and money to say, I choose to walk away from this. And here's part of how she got there. I sat down with her one day. We were talking about her business, and she said, Tom, I struggle with the fact that, the more listings I take, the more phone calls I get. The more listings I have, the more marketing I have to do. So, the busy work compounds in real estate. One transaction equals hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of busy work. So the first thing I asked her to do was to identify the answer to this question. So for all the listeners, write down the following. Write down, what is my goal? What is your goal? So be clear on your outcome. So is it to sell 2 houses a month? Is it to sell 2 houses a day? Whatever your goal is fine by me. So what is your goal? Then you ask yourself, what activities would naturally and automatically lead me to the accomplishment of the goal? So what is my goal? 24 sales as an example. Then what activities would naturally and automatically lead me towards the accomplishment of my goal? Then what I request they do is they list out, Steve, every activity they believe will cause them to achieve their goal. Now, some will be daily, some will be weekly, some open houses might only be done on the weekends. That's okay. List them all out. Once they've done that, then they have to ask themselves this question. Who should do it? Should it be automated? Should it be done by an assistant? Can I outsource it to someone through like an iFreelance.com, someone in India who could sit there for 4 cents an hour and get it done? Should I hire an assistant? Or at the end of the day, does it become work that is best for me to do? Go back to earlier, you asked the question, what are the activities you need to be involved in? Follow your plan. Right. Profit seek, do lead, follow up, go on appointments, and negotiate. If we could have an agent just doing those 4 things, they could sell a house a day, no problem. What stops them? All the minutia, all the garbage.
So sometimes agents are too busy to actually be successful.
Well, they're getting ready to get going, to get started, to get more stuff done, to go to lunch, to come back, check their email again, maybe work on a CMA, consider a marketing piece, then go home and have dinner.
And I know that that's not anyone on our call today, but the thing is that those of you who have any ideas or aspirations to clear out the list, figure out who you can delegate to is what I'm hearing you say.
Well, at the end of the day, yes, and recognize that most companies today have internal transaction coordinators that everyone should use, or there's an outsourced solution in your marketplace where you can outsource your transactions to be done. There's REVA, the Real Estate Virtual Assistant Network. There's a lot of solutions out there. And I think what happens is, as agents, because it might be our only transaction, we get really controlling, like it's got to be done right, because this is my only deal. This is my only paycheck coming in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Well, just that thought alone is going to narrow your focus and narrow your business to only be working on the minutia of that deal.
Right.
And you'll spend...
And then when you're all done, you have to start all over again.
You have nothing.
Oh, man.
You're starting over at ground zero.
I have that sensation sometimes, and I'm not immune to it. So that's why I'm so excited to hear this information today. I mean, it's phenomenal. All right, so
But I want to say, I'm not asking them to go out and hire an assistant. There is virtual assistants. There is technology like what your service provides. There are many outside solutions that they could delegate these things out to. So what they do is what they do best.
So let me ask you,
spend time with clients.
So I mean, one of the things that I know you've done in the past, I don't know if you still do this, but there's people listening on right now. Go, man, is this me? How can I apply this to me? And unfortunately, we can't get to all 900 people right now at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Sure. Now,
if anybody here wanted to actually used to do a free coaching call,
yes.
A kind of a business analysis call,
yes.
I used to call it.
Yes.
Are you still doing those? Would you do those for our audience?
If they call my office and say, I was just on the call with Tom and Steve, then what I would do is I would have, you're putting me on the spot here, so I will set up, I'll allocate a few of our coaches to do that, but I'm going to say, I'm going to limit it to probably the first 100 people that call in. just being mindful of my coach's time. Our coaches are active agents in the business.
Well, I appreciate. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but I figured, I'd take an opportunity to
make no bones about it. For all my friends out there listening, we want more business. I also recognize that people will say yes to a free offer just to say yes. So if you're serious, if you're a gamer, as I would say, if you absolutely have the desire to improve the quality of your business, call.
Well,
but if you just are looking for one more thing to do to avoid profit seeking and follow up and dealing with clients, please don't call me.
Well, let me actually. That's a good segue for my next question.